All right, thanks everyone. Come along, and today we just try to work through a few questions that happened to 2021, the selective test paper. So I guess almost everybody here should already tried. So how do you feel? Easy? Hard? Or what's the major issue? Yeah, most of people say easy. All right, I got it like 33, 35, for example. I would think, yeah. So to be honest, looking at the material we have, all the question is actually covered. No question is surprised by ours like a coaching school's material. The only challenge is time. All right. So look at this test is 40 minutes. You have 35 questions. Do a simple math. Pretty much 1 minute, one question. You have 5 minutes extra to deal with challenging question. That's just high level time management you should have. All right. So that's the most important thing. If you're stuck in one question, you have to make a judgment call. Say, hey, do I worth it? Spend 2 more minutes on that, or should I move on? Because you only had 1 minute, one question. So that's the one thing I want to emphasize, because this test, nothing is particularly surprising. Everything is manageable. You just need to always choose the right method. All right, so let's walk through. As I'm looking at the WeChat group parents, probably only 3 students put up the question. So I guess I might just respect their view. How about I just do those first? And then we work through from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 35. All right. So I pick up those probably 4 or 5 questions highlighted here. Let's work through those questions first. And then we work through from 1 to 35 next. All right. So let's do that. First of all, question 8 is the first question that someone have a slightly challenge to do with. So this question is actually testing your understanding about this system, right? North, south, east, and west. So we will come back to this system later on again in terms of one of the word time question, but just leave it for now. And you're looking at this question. Okay, so the question to ask you, starting from J. So let's just figure out what's the, do a little bit of visualization if you need. Okay, so it's better than leave the blank. Do some visualization. The question asking from J to K, K to L, L to M. And the question then asks you, what is the direction? So obviously J to K, this direction. It is southeast. And then K to L, east. The next one is L to M is this direction. So it's not really hard at all. Northwest. So all you have is this is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3. And the answer is A. All right. So SE and the east and northwest. That's it. So that's question 8. Next one that have been raised as a special attention is, I guess it's pretty late question, the 20, I believe 26. Yeah, 26. All right. So this question, you just very quickly scan through this question, right? So there's 3 people, RST. RST is doing kind of loop run about this kind of like a track. The question asks you, how many minutes are 3 athletes next on the starting line again? So this type of question is really, all right, it's a multiple question. So when it would on the start line again, it needs to be integer, whole number multiple of 8, right? Whole number multiple of 10 and a whole number multiple of 12. So if this number exists as a common ground, which this question end up with a lowest common multiple question, right? 8, 10, 12. If that's a question, I guess almost everybody here know how to do it. In case you have a little issue, I explain two methods here. Method one. Method one is that 8 is break them down, 12 and 10. So if you once you break down, you don't take those common. So what do you get? Lowest common multiple would be 4 times 2 times 3 and times 5. Because these two you already have, right? So that will give you 120. Method one. Happy? Everybody listen method one. Method two. Method two is kind of logic, right? If you try to calculate 3, if you try to calculate 3 numbers common multiple, it's equivalent to calculate 2 of them first and then combine with the other. So you just do a quick calculation for 8 and 12. That's pretty straightforward. You get 24, right? And 10. Then I think you can easily got 120. Two methods. All right. So that's should be either way is quick. I usually prefer using the second one. That's probably faster. The first one depends on the question, right? If the number is very large, you might fall in a time trap, right? Take too long. That's question 26. Okay, let's working on question 29. Question 29, just quickly looking at it. So what's the question? Question is 4 times 4 times 4 equal to 64 cubic, small cubic. All right. Then the question is asking you, how many cannot see? So the logic is following. Total, that's a 64. How many you can see? You don't know, right? Plus not see. So that's the high level logic. Then you can either go for method one. You find out how many you can see, and then you do a subtract. Take away from 64, you get the answer. Let's do that first, right? How many you can see? It's easy the way, right? This is 16, the front, the back, that's 32. Once you take out front and back, you only had the middle section you need to deal with. So let's deal with this. Let me circle it. Just watch out why I'm not circle 8. I'm only circle 6. And also you can see I'm circle this 6. So that means in the middle section, that's actually 6 times 4. So the trick is you do not double count. You do not double count the corner position. Because this one, you will count in the next side, all right? So once you got that thing sorted out, you do not double counting, you get 32 plus 24, that's 56. And therefore, not C is 64 minus 56 is 8. Done. Method one, easy, most straightforward. All right, next method is a method a bit of advanced, but some students might find it's much faster. It's as easy as straight away you can calculate not C equal to 2 times 2 times 2 equal to 8. But that one requires a little bit three-dimension sort of imagination, right? The skills. So how we can get that sorted out? 2 times 2 times 2. You think about it is 4 times 4, right? For this length out of 4, the two corner position cannot discuss, like cannot see, right? Or can see. So the only one that is in the middle you cannot see. So in that case, you can imagine there's a little things inside. You have little things inside. That is where you cannot see. That block, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 2 method. Guys, later on, we will go back to do from question 1 to question 35. If you haven't get a chance to raise the question from the WeChat group, we have to follow the rule, right? Next one. This is another question that parents raised concern, right? So let's do that. How we can work through this is kind of a language information process question, right? So this is information processing. Quickly read this, right? You don't have to read in the middle section. All you need to read is beginning, right? And new to old or old to new. That's all you need to read. Read the title, move on. This is someone, there is only one people, so you don't need to care about the name. And catch it, the second bus from new town to old town. This is where the information is important. Now it's time to read again. You're looking at the second bus from new to old, all right? And then she returned new town on the next bus. So you need to check this time, the time after that. Scan through, after that is this one, return bus. Once you take out those figures, how long does she spend away from Newtown? So that means you do a time difference of 1645 minus 0955. Okay, again, lots of students understand this part, but then they have a little bit challenge to do this time subtraction. So I just explained 2 methods again, right? Method 1. Method 1 is simply do this, right? 45 minus 55, not enough. So you do 15 minus 9, okay? And plus 45 plus 60, you need to borrow 60. 105 minus 55, you got 50. So you got 50 minutes. So that is 6 hours, 50 minutes. Method 1. So method 2 is that using a little bit visualization, show you, right? Here you go. You draw a line. You don't have to be accurate. This one is 9:55. This is 10 o'clock. And here is 16. You draw a timeline. And 16.45, 45, how long? That's away, since 10 o'clock. That's pretty straightforward calculation. 6 hours, 45 minutes. Yeah, no problem. And here, easy, 5 minutes. Right, so you add up, that give you let's give you 6 hours, 15 minutes as well. All right, regardless which one you use, I would like you to prefer using the method 2 because that seems to me faster. Does that make sense? All right, so that's question 31. Question 32, that actually is similar to question 28. So they are pretty much same question. So surprise me, they have double up the type of question, but let's just work it out. For question 32, looking at this type of question, how we want to quantify this. This is really a sort of container question. Like you have always a basic measure of the container. At the same time, you have certain proportion of the full box or full container, right? But not necessarily full. So in this case, I think all this kind of question, the magic part is doing difference. It very quickly converts to a difference calculation. Why? Because only when you do difference, you cancel out the container weight. Does that make sense? Only when you do difference is cancel out they are just cancel out the difference of the weight. So the only difference left is the net weight of certain proportion. Let's do this, right? You look at this. So you don't have to think about, oh, this is 100, so this is 120 millimeter. That's just overcomplicated. What do you need to do? Count how many units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 units liquid plus the container equal to 270. That's what you want. This one, 1, 2. 2 units plus container weight equal to 150. Do a difference. What do you got? You got 4 units equal to 120. 1 unit is 30. All right, so you can quickly work it out. What's the container weight? And this question is already there. Like 150 minus 30 times 2, because that's 2 units, and 90 gram is the container, which is, sorry, I shouldn't have crossed out, which is, the answer is B. Right, so that is a pretty straightforward question. If you know what to do, right? If you know what to do and you don't need to hesitate, go jump into this type of question. Next one. Next one, some students feel challenged on 34. 34 is another common lowest common multiple question. So like what this question talk about is, you have 4 and 40. This told you highest common factor is 4, lowest common multiple is 40. The question asks you, there's another pair. Another pair have the same lowest common multiple and the highest common factor. So what's the sum of the other pair? This question, right? It's difficult. It's like if you try to calculate, it's kind of a try error question, if you want to say, but I don't want you guys to do random try and error. There is a little formula or little theory behind it. If you heard about it, most of you probably already, but you never use it. Here's a relation of, if you try to calculate a lowest common multiple of 2 numbers, there is a formula. I'm not sure you learned this before. It's simply x times y. All right, just time them together, divided by the highest common factor of x and y. That means you simply know this 2 number, x times y, is equal to the highest common factor times lowest common multiple, which is 4 times 40 is 160. All right, so you have a restriction about their total product is 160. That question is much easier to do, right? So you know this x, y, one of them is 4 and 40. So x times y is 160, x plus y is 44. So the next one is you're gonna find something, the product has the restrictions of 160. You can't make them random, right? Anything like times 5 or times 3 doesn't work like that. It's a restriction, 160. So you can do that by increase by 2, decrease by 2, and double check whether they have a lowest common factor 4. Yes. Whether they have lowest common multiple is 40 and the highest common factor is 4. Yes, they are. So that one give you 28. That's the one answer. But if you want to increase further, that's not possible because this is going to need to decrease. Decrease become missing the factor 4. So that's just the end. That is why you only had one possible mix, which is 8 and 20. So add them up, It is 28. No, sorry, D. Okay, so I think this one is a we call them like improved or structured guess and check. This kind of a methodology is quite widely used in AMC tests. So AMC tests, most of them actually testing you ability of a guess and check. But if you do random guess and check, you have a too big the scale, like it's too hard to guess and too many things to test it out. So the way what we're doing here is you need to limit the number of scenario to do the test. So that will get you the result as quick as possible. All right, that's 34. I think that's it. So far is all the questions raised in the WeChat group. Do you guys have any question? If you don't, let's just start from one by one. So don't complain, it's too easy. All right, we'll just do from one by one. First question, if divided by 5, what's the remainder? You just write down the remainder, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4. Okay, so which number different? Too easy. So I'm not gonna stop, right? It's too easy, let's pass on. The second question, I might just give a quick rundown of the pattern. How to do pattern question. Usually I tell my students, regardless of what kind of question come in, right, you always do this 4 check. First, check difference. All right, so let's do that. Check difference, it's a 4, and that one ridiculously big. Difference, not working. Check ratio. So check ratio, in this case, ratio is 3 times 3, and that's times 3 as well. Bingo. That's the ratio question times 3 pattern. So I just quickly finish off this list of check, because if you have all kind of pattern questions, there's always do this. At least you solve 90% of the problem. First, check difference. Second, check ratio. Third, check whether it's a square or cubic. Check those. No, if still no, check recursive. Recursive means like you heard about Fibonacci sequence, right? This is a recursive formula. Like the value, it's not by a formula itself. Actually, it's the summation of previous 2 terms or previous 3 terms, so on and so forth. So this is the roughly the package to test. Regardless of what question come in, they always use this method. They will solve 95% of the problems. I can't say 100%. It could be very, very hard question, but it's unlikely. All right. So that question, if it's times 3, you will easily get this is 18. All right, C. Next one. Next one is a measurement problem. So measurement problem is like you could measure it in the straight line ruler or like this kind of angle measurement. So this question is pretty easy, right? If you want to measure this, you just measure, what is this? 160 minus, here's the measure 50. So you do just do a quick calculation, 110. I can't see anything else be difficult. So that's it. 4. Jason has 3 different pair of trousers. So this question is pretty good. There is some theory behind it. I want to give a little bit explanation on that. Question 4. Question 4, really, it's a counting type of problem, all right? Counting, it's a very challenging topic, all right? This one only cover a little iceberg of this type of question. You will expose a lot more in high school. A detailed name for that is called permutation and combination, right? But not yet. So when you do probability questions, there is always 2 very significant different type of question. I give a name. One is called steps. So like you break them down into different steps, or you break them down to different categories. Okay, so I just give you the framework of analysis, but that question itself is the typical question of steps. Why? It's like you do two steps, right? First step, you choose trousers. Second step, you choose shirts. So if it's step question, the count needs to be timed together. If it is a category question, right? So I have 3 different ways bus go to the town. I can have a bicycle to the town. I also can drive to the town. I'm asking you how many ways I can go to the town. Actually, I have 3 bus plus 1 a bicycle plus car, 5. So the category is plus. All right. And if the steps, which means one after the other, that is a combination. So you need to time together. In this question, 3 times 4, you have 12 mix for Jason, and you have 10 mix for Emily. All right, so this is the quickly set up. Once you set up that, right, and you can make an outfit of the own by, yeah, this is really already told you how to do this. Without that, you should also know how to do that. All right, who has the larger number of possible outfit and by how much? This is too easy, right? By 2. Who's high? Jason. Jason has 2 more outfits. A, done. That's pretty easy. Question 5. Question 5 is type of question called, it's kind of a unit conversion question. Or sometimes you call measurement conversion question. So the question is giving you all liquid, or literally all water, but some of them in the liters, some of them in the milliliters. And you know, if they are in the different units, you cannot plus or minus each other. You have to synchronize them first. So this is the kind of question you need to make them the same unit first, right? So I write it down, X 1.075 liter. If you're happy with that, okay. If you don't happy, tell me. You said, no, it should be 1.75. But actually this is 1.075, right? What underline this is 1 liter equal to 1,000, right? Milliliter. So that way 75 is only represent, okay? 1 out of 7,000, which is 0.075. That's why it's here. Okay, the Y is 3 liter, 3.45 liter, and then this is 1.25 liter. The question is say, add them together. Combine, add them together. You will say it's 5, right? It's 2, increase from back, it's 3. Then it's a 4 times 5, 9, 9 plus 7, actually plus 8. 9 plus 8 is 7. So you got 5.37 liter. Now the question, there's no answer is 5.37 liter. And now you come back to convert that is 5 liter, 370 milliliter. So you have that answer here, B. Any question? Oh, good. This is easy, right? Next one. Next one is a question that you don't need to hesitate. I just tell you that, right? You don't need to hesitate. This is a time you cannot avoid spend. Why? So next time, if you see the question like the word, keyword middle, right? If you try to find something middle, immediately you should have a understanding. It needs to be sorted. This number list need to be sorted. Otherwise, how can you get a middle number? You can't. So there's some time. This is the time you have to spend, right? So you quickly just sort it. And what to sort it? You just write from the smallest number to the highest numbers. Let's do it, right? This is number 1. Scan through 5. Here you go. Another one. So this is 2. This is 3. No more 5. 6. 4. 6. Do we have 6? Here you go. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 number. Obviously, which number in the middle? 9 divided by 2 is 4.5, right? So it's 5 is the number that in the middle. All right, so you got that. It's B. So again, if you don't spend time to sort it, you can't get this kind of question. This time you have to spend, you probably spend 30 seconds. It's fine. 30 seconds is worth it. All right, next one. Question 7. Question 7 is kind of question like you just need to information processing. What I would suggest you guys to do next time, when you read through, right, quickly scan through keyword B, R, Y, 3 different color, right? So total 36. This one is B, 16. Okay, red, half, which means 8. Or sorry, 18. Because total is 36, right? Half of them actually is 18. All right, the question is, say, how many yellow? So it's quite easy, right? 36 is total, and this is total, right? The blue is 16, the red is 18. You do a quick subtraction. It's only 2 left. Is yellow. So you can only get A. That's it. No other tricks. So this is kind of like an information processing. If you have an information processing problem, do I have any suggestions? Not much. But if you really want to ask me what kind of suggestion we can improve, you just highlight. Highlight the keyword. And also do a quick visualization or quick algebra, whatever. Just do some, you try avoid doing everything in your brain. That doesn't work, okay? Try not to say, I just do all my mental mess, or 36 minus 18 minus 6. This doesn't work, all right? Try to write it down on a piece of paper. Make this calculation solid. Okay, next one. Done. 8, we've done it. All right, question 9. Question 9 is type of a question, probably we will have that again. It's called fraction comparison. Or sometimes you call fraction sorting. You need to sorting. Okay, so some students just raise some or different way. So again, you can do all kind of different way. I'm just showing you one way. It doesn't really say have to be my way. As long as you get it correct, it's all good. All right. All right, next one is the fraction comparison question or fraction sorting. So what I want to just give you the framework of doing this type of question. Methodology, 1, try to approximate to decimal. This is one method. If everything is easy to convert to decimal, comparison is straightforward. Second way is if it's impossible or too hard to convert, if you make them same denominator. If you make them same denominator, you just compare the larger numerator. Larger numerator is bigger. The tricky one, the third one, right? If they have the same numerator, then you compare is actually the smaller one is larger than the larger one by denominator. All right, a little example. Same denominator, 7 is greater than 5, right? Easy. Same numerator. Okay. So this is the 3 different way of compare fractions. So with that framework in your mind, let's solve this question. Easy, right? Which of these statements are correct? This is 2. This is 3/2, right? Compared to 5/4. What do? Compare, change them to decimals. This is 1.5, 1.25. Okay, greater. This is correct. Next one. All right, it's 5/8 compared to 3/8. This is the same denominator, easy. And actually, it's not less, it's greater than. So it's wrong. Next one is the same numerator. 1/6, 1/10. Which is greater? It's actually 1/6 is greater. This is correct. So the answer is X and Z is correct. X and Z are correct. D. Question 9 is D. Hope that makes sense. All right. So once you have this kind of framework, you will never waste of time. So I know that for the primary school student, one of the weakest area for their math is fraction. Whenever a fraction comes, they just give up because they don't know how to do it. So I suggest you guys spend more time on the fraction. That's always worthwhile. All right, question 10. Question 10, it requires a little bit of 3-dimensional imagination. This is a type of question called nets. It's kind of like converting a 3-dimensional shape, but if you expand it, put on a piece of paper, become 2-dimensional, how they look like. So let's quickly do this question, right? Which of the net can be folded to? So which means if you like, this is another feature for the recent math reasoning, right? If you see this type of question, say you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but the answer is not asked to answer 1 or 2 or 3. It's really have this type of setting, which suggests you need to validate. You need to validate all choices. You cannot just like, oh, guess and check. Avoid guess. This kind of question you cannot guess. You have to very solid include or exclude each situation. Let's do it, right? First one, whether it's possible, no, because this part make this impossible. Second question, because this part make it impossible to fold it into the following 3-dimensional shape. How about this one? This part, it's just overlap. No, this is not working either. How about 5? Number 5, you just think about it. This one fold across will touch with this line. Same time, this one will also fold across, touch this line. You cannot have 2 faces overlap. So this is wrong as well. The last one looks like all good, right? So this one, if this one is here, that's just exactly the other end. Looks correct. So number 4 is correct. Scan through, which one is number 4 correct? Net 4 only, B. So this type of question, do not juggle around, try to guess which one is correct. No chance. Don't try. Go to the original question, try to validate all of them. That's the only decent method to solve this type of problem. Question next one, right? Next 11. Okay, so question 11, the parameter of a square is 32. So you just need to quickly convert 30 to a square. Parameter means 8 times 4, all right? So it's a 4, 4, 4, 4. That's a type of question. The square is cut into 4 pieces. What is the parameter of one of these pieces? It's too easy, right? It's 4 times 4, 16. Do you have the answer? Yes. Done. So what kind of things we can learn from here? Not really, right? You just quickly convert this 32 into how long is each side, which is 8. Then you split it into 4 and 4. Then it's already there, done. Next question. When an even number is divided by 8, what are all of the possible remainders? Okay, so this question, if you really stuck, how about just think about not even number, just any number. How about any number? If you do any number, what are all of the possible remainders? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Any number. But now you have changed. You have odd or even. If you have an even number to do a divided by 8, so that can only have even, you can only have even remainders. So that's a 2, 4, 6. That's it. So even it's hard to think about at the beginning, just break them down. What should be something pretty confident, then split it into 2 categories, then I think you pretty quickly figure out that's the logic, right? This is where we call this subject called the reasoning, right? Reasoning means less calculation, more of thinking. Yeah, more of the thinking. Next one, question 13. The time in Auckland is 13 hours ahead of London. And another city, I don't know what the Calgary is 7 hours behind of London, right? When 5 p.m. in the Calgary, what time in the Auckland? All right, so how to deal with this type of problem? This really, I wouldn't think it's a very easy question. Why? It's require a little bit world map perspective, right? And you know the map. Okay, so in a world map perspective, there is something here. So Australia is this area, right? One important thing is this direction is east, and also this direction is ahead. Ahead of time is go to the east. How to remember that? You think about why ahead of time is east? Because the sun is sunrise from east. Okay, so if you try to make sense of that, then the question is that's finished, right? So I'll probably just take it away. Now I try to write down this particular solution for this question. Right? You try to draw a visualization. London in the middle, and Auckland and C. You probably would say just A, L, and C. This one is 13 hours ahead. So this is A ahead. And that's 7 hours behind. So total is 20 hours. Okay. So the question is tell you if it's 5 p.m., if here is 5 p.m. So you need to say what it means ahead. So if 5 p.m., right, ahead means your time is running earlier. So like just if you can't do 20 hours ahead, do a simple one. What about 2 hours ahead? What that mean? If you say 2 hours ahead, do you think it's 3 p.m. or 7 p.m.? This is very quick sense check in your mind. You think, 2 hours ahead should be 7 p.m. All right, so if that logic is clear, 20 hours ahead, it's just simply add 20 hours. That will become 25 p.m. Just bear with me, don't panic. So you said, oh, there's nothing called 25 p.m. That's true, there's nothing called 25 p.m. But we know one day is 24 hours. So you can take away 24 hours, will become 1 p.m. All right, so just like that. Take away 24 hours, is just simply 1 p.m. C. So that is what you do, right? And next one, question 14. 4 old units of capacity are, all right. So this question is kind of a typical question. It doesn't matter what kind of a unit it is. You can just call A, B, C, D. But the question is not A, B, C, D. And it's tricky that there is 2 of them actually is P. So this is a topic that we heavily use called initial. Just using the initial. If you're using the initial, you avoid worry about those terminology. You just say this is G, this is P, this is Q. Wait, there is something called the P pack. So you call this is PK. All right. So decide there's 4 different objects. Now, doing a quick write down, convert English into mathematical sentence. 4G equal to 1P. All right. 1P is equal to half quote. So that means you change idea. So 1 quote equal to 2P. And finally is 1PK equal to 8Q. The question asks you the connection between PK versus Q versus G. So you need to find out this guy connected to this guy. So all the P and the Q become intermediate. You need to get rid of, right? So just write down this 8Q, it's equal to 16P. Yeah, makes sense because that's 1Q is equal to 2P, that's 16P. 1P is equal to 4G. So that will be 16 times 4. So that is 64. 64G. So that's problem solved, 64. All right. So this is another question about information processing. And how do you do this type of problem? So again, I would suggest do not trust your mental math. That doesn't work. All right. Don't trust the mental math. In this case, all I want you guys, write it down. Write it down in a language that is consistent. So how to write it down? First, you need to decide the initials, right? Don't using conflict initial. So you quickly scan through, make sure initials not duplicate. You find the initial is duplicate P and P, don't worry, make one of them different. So you have G, P, Q, and PK. Then you convert all those given information into a equation, or probably just a mathematical sentence. Then you can do this kind of a conversion and work it out. All right, done. Question 14. Next one, 15. Question 15, another one that requires a little bit thinking. So what is thinking about? It's something called greatest difference. So if you try to get a greatest difference between 2 numbers, first you work it out. This is bigger, or this is all right. So probably don't use the B. You work it out. This is greater than the 70 is greater than 68 for sure. In order to make the larger number the biggest, you need to find this is maximum, find this number is minimum, right? You're going to choose this number is 9, right? And choose this triangle is 0. So you have convert this one, become a question like that. Do a vertical strategy calculation, find out what's the difference. You have 9, you have 7, you have 1. That's it. 1.79. Do we have the answer? Yes. That's it. Next question. Next question is type of a chart and graph question. So there's no certain set rules. The rule is that or maybe a strategy that can be common, right? When you deal with these questions, don't hesitate to draw on the paper, just draw on it. 40 is the key information you need to know, right? Then once you read this, the question asks you, what is a 2 pet? Here is the number of pet. Just quickly read what's the definition of this definition. What is the x-axis? What is the y-axis? Once you read it and understand, all right, so I figure out, looks like the 40 is going to be the total of this one, add this one, add that one, add that one, add that one, and add these 2 missing one. All right, once you figure out that, so do a quick write it down. This is 10, 15, 1, 1, 1. All right, do a quick math. 10, 15, 3, add up, 25, 28. All right, you got 28. 40 minus 28, 12. All right, so you know 2 pet and a 3 pet. What's the relation? Read this again. The number of children with 2 pet is twice as number of the 3 pet. So what we need, we draw the boxes. We draw the boxes to unit boxes, right? Unit diagram, if you want to call it. Once you draw that, you know this total is 12 because this number is 12, right? And the 3 units. So that's 3 units equal to 12, 1 unit equal to 4. Done. How many children have 2 pets? 8. Easy. That's how you need to do it. Question 17. Question 17. Again, when you read this, you're getting a slightly, there's so many, they on purpose make this name very long, but you don't care. Give them shortcut, F, G, H. That's all you need to read, regardless the remaining part, not important. Now, start to convert the language. F equal to 8G. That's first sentence conversion. Second one is H equal to half G, which you turn around, say 1G is 2H. Yeah. The question is that the question asks you F equal to how many H? So you just convert that. 1G is 2H, that's 16H. And you have 16. That's it. So you find this kind of information processing kind of question is quite a lot. And yes, this question is quite easy. You might just do that without drawing anything. You can mental method, not a problem. But I'm still encouraging you to draw something in case, right? It's not as easy as you expected. Next question. Question 18. Question 18, you just quickly read through what they talk about. All right, so this is the thing X and Y, and then just quickly scan through. Oh, it's a parameter. Oh, it's the area. I'll talk about parameter and area. Then the question asks you compare X and Y. What about the parameter? What about the area? All right, so let's do that. To do this, there's nothing being defined. You will say, okay, how about we call this is a 1 unit. All right, so that's a 1 unit square, something like that. So area, calculate, this is X, this is Y, this is area, this is parameter. X, right? X, the area is 1, 2, 3. Y, the area is 1, 2, 3. So area is the same. Okay, this one is correct. All right, so the parameter, sorry, I read it incorrectly. The area is, the second part is area. So they have the same area. This one, 4 is correct. Down. Parameter require a little bit more thinking about it. All right, parameter, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 units. But plus something you don't know, right? Plus something, it's kind of like a diameter, right? Diagonal. So you just put a 2 diagonal, D4 diagonal, right? 2 diagonal. So this one, that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and also 2 diagonal. So the fact is they are the same. So they have the same parameter as well. The answer is 2 and 4 are correct. So that's it. If you want to know a little bit more to make this question easier, right? It's probably beyond your year 5 level. If you know a little bit more, is that if this is a unit, this is 1 unit, how long is the diagonal line? Some students might already know. Pythagoras, right? You know that is 1 square plus 1 square equal to this magic d square. So the d square is 2. So d is root 2. Okay. So what happened? Any kind of isosceles triangle, right angle isosceles triangle. If this side is 1 and 1, this side is root 2. So if you know that, probably is more confident. Rather than write this, you might write this one as root 2. But not important. You just write D, diagonal line, solve the same problem. Next one. Question 19. All right, so this is, again, just read through how many objects, how many things we talk about here. One is a large pack, quickly read through, is medium pack, and we have a small pack. How many biscuits does a small pack have? All right, so let's read again. A large pack, 36. A medium pack is 2 large pack is equal to 3 medium pack. So that you can calculate the medium pack is 2 times large divided by 3. So which is 72 divided by 3 is 24, right? Medium pack 24. Same thing, 2 medium equal to 3 small. So you work out the small is 2 medium divided by 3 is 48 divided by 3 is 16. Question, how many biscuits in small? 16. Do you call that algebra? Maybe, but it's really, really simple algebra. It's nothing like a fancy stuff, right? It is more like, I would think it's just convert an English sentence into a mathematical short sentence, and then you're using a racial relations to convert it out, to figure out the answer. Next one. Next question 20 is a typical question called best deal. Best deal question. Best deal question, one thing that you cannot avoid, which means you have to do, which is calculate per unit price. You have to do that. Why? You only, once you've done that per unit price, you in your mind, you figure out what is the best deal package, then you can sort out this question. So we quickly did it, right? The unit price is 50 cents. This one, 45 cents. That one, you do a quick calculation, not divisible. This one, right? It's not divisible, but you can work it out. It's 13 divided by 30. That will be 4, 0.4, and 3, right? 333. So that's a 43.3 cents. So what's the best deal? Number 1, best deal. Number 2, number 3. So this is 1, 2, 3 will decide your ordering of your choice. So how to deal with this question? We have $25 to start with. So what do you do? 25 divided by, you don't need to do too much of math, right? If you do common sense, you can do that. You try, say, can I buy 2 pack? No, 2 pack costs 26. So that's 1 pack. $13 1 pack. One pack, how many of them? 30. So how many remain? $12 remain. $12 remain. $12 divided by 45. Can you divide? You can. You get 2, remainder of 3. So you can have 2 pack, which is $9. 2 pack of that is 20. What remaining is $3. $3, you can buy how many? You finally is $3. You can buy 6 of them. So that's why you have 56. Okay, so this question, I think, as I said, there's 2 levels of calculation. One is you decide which one is the best deal, right? This is something you have to decide. So to decide the best deal, then the strategy is use the money to buy as many package of the best deal as possible. So you try to buy 2 pack, it's just $1 shy. No, you can't. So you buy 1 pack only. But then the remaining dollar is $12. So $12, you can try as many as the second best deal is $4.50. So $12 divided by 4.5, you can have 2 pack. The remaining is $3. So $3 put down to buy the least favorable package. Is just 6 of them. So that's how you work it out. All right. So once you got that, 21. Okay. Next question is again a lot of information, diagram, and also require a little bit sort of a common sense. Everybody probably should know, right? In the air, like around Earth, right? You have somebody tell it's 80% of nitrogen and 20% of oxygen, right? So this diagram is really tell you the full story, which 20-80 split really is only happening around the area around us, which is the surface of the Earth, right? Once it's higher, like this is the degree of kilometers, 100 kilometers above the Earth, right, above the surface, then the level of oxygen is actually increasing, surprise, right? And then decrease. And then there's also some other kind of gas is called a helium, right? Helium is in as well. So this 3 type of things is in the mix. So the question is asked you, read this diagram and check whether those statements are true or false, then you make your choice. So let's read it. At any height above the sea level, the fraction of nitrogen is higher than the fraction of H, right? So you deal with this N and H, right? This is again, when you're doing information process, if you really hate long name, just keep them short. Make them initial only when you read it. You don't care about reading anything else. Just read them NOH, right? So that's keep your faster reading. All right, so the question is say whether the fraction of nitrogen is always higher than this one. The answer is no, because this area here, this section, drive as a counterexample of this statement. Because in this area, the nitrogen is lower than the helium. So this is wrong. Second one, there is more than one height at which the fraction of oxygen and the helium are the same. So this is topic of the O and the H, right? O and the H, where they are same. This one, there is a 1 point, they are same. Anything else? Just read this, right? Nothing. There actually is only 1 point. So only one. So more than one, it's wrong. at last, at 200 kilometers, this level, about C, the air about half of the nitrogen and half of oxygen. Yes, so this is correct. Only Z is correct. Okay, so this one really, is this typically a math question? No. But are they really something that is reading the diagram? Yes, it's kind of like check your ability to read the information from the diagram. All right, so that's question D. Next one. Question 22. Question 22. A movie theater sold 500 tickets a week. All right, but they only sold M Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. On Tuesday, it sold half as many as on Monday. All right, so you do this. Tuesday, it is half of the Monday. All right, on Wednesday, it is sold half as many as Tuesday. All right, and on Thursday, THU, right? Thursday, it is 80. Okay, so Monday, still Monday, right? But and can we convert? So we notice that Wednesday is the smallest unit. Can we do a conversion? Yes, we do. So this is actually is Wednesday. This is 2 Wednesday, and that one is actually 2 Tuesday will be 4 Wednesday. So altogether, 7 Wednesday plus 80 ticket will equal to 500. So you work it out. Wednesday is equal to 420 divided by 7. That was a 60. All right. So question asks you Monday. Monday is 4 Wednesday. Right. So the 60 times 4 is 240. As simple as that. That's question 22. Question 23 is quite interesting. All right. This is a question that probably in the past, you probably never had an experience to do it. But to be honest, if you try to do it, you find it not that hard. Right. So just read. This is kind of pattern question in the context of geometric, or it's kind of like a graphical pattern. So question asks you, what about 40? So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 40 is going to be something like you have this and 13 of them, right? You can 13 of them will have 39. The 40 will be here. Yeah. Once you figure out that, you know that's going to be consistent with B. So you're pretty sure the answer is B, with something with B, right? Then it's definitely B. So 40 is definitely, so you remind, what you can do is 40 divided by 3 is 13, reminder 1. Reminder 1 is suggest it is B. Yeah, because 1 is always stay there. So what about the horizontal vertical measure? Vertical measure, you just need to think about it, right? If 1, the square 1 is reads 2, square 4 reads 5, square 7 reads 8. It would be not strange, not difficult to predict square 40 because it read 41. Does that make sense? It's just like a logic, right? It's a quick logic. So that's why you work it out. It's B41. The answer is A. Question 23, the answer is A. Next one. Next one is a quick scan. You can do some elimination, right? Which of the number is the closest? So first, This is all decimal. Make this decimal as well. So 0.7. So anything is not very close, you're going to be delete them, eliminate them immediately. This is not relevant, right? A and D is not relevant. So then you look at it. Obviously, B is the closest, right? Because the difference is 0.005. This is a 0.02. This is 0.03. So that is that's roughly is the thing. Let me just do some quick control, see what I can do. Where is the things? All right. Question 25. Question 25, again, you see this again. This is not the first time. I have mentioned many times. Using the initials to speed up your information processing. This is F, this is G, H, J, K. All right, using 5 different letters to representing 5 friends and the other information in this order. All right, so now you can visualize in this order. It's a F, G, H, J, K is the order. And then you just start to processing. F, 400 from H, and 850 from K. All right, so you quickly wrote down this. This is 400, this is 450. Right, so that's how you convert that information into a diagram. Because you know, this is G, that one is J. All right, now next question. Gina lives 3 times as far from F versus live from H. So that is 3 units, that's 1 unit, total 4 units. So that's a 300. And this is 100. All right, so I just quickly write down numbers. Yep, that's correct. Once you got that, next one. So we done this, we done that. Gina and the jockey live in equal distance from H. So just read again. G, okay, and the J is equal distance from H. So you got that is 100 as well. So the last one, 350. It's just a reminder of remaining part of the 450. Someone asked me, what is 450? 450 is 850 minus 400, right? So that's the initial information, how you translate in this. This is a typical question of the value of visualization. This question you won't be able to do purely based on mental math. You don't know. You have to write it down and put them in the piece of paper. Everything is so easy, naturally figure out. How far does J from K? J from K, 350, done, C. Next one. I think I've done it. Next one, the one after 27. Question 27. Okay. Question 27 is interesting. You probably can still do this similar visualization using the number diagram, number line diagram, right? This is the number. So you just try to figure out if a multiple of his number is by 3. If you multiple the number by 3, the answer is less than 30. So less than 30, the number have to be less than 10. Because it's a whole number, it have less than or equal to 9. So first point, it is less than 9, inclusive 9. Second one, if we multiply the number by 6, the answer is greater than 40. All right, greater than 40. If you try 7, it greater than 40. If you try 6, it's less than 40. So it needs to be greater than or equal to 7. So what's a whole number that is greater than or equal to 7, but less than or equal to 9? That's only 3 numbers, 7, 8, 9. What are the sum? 24, right? Easy. So I think if you want to really do this, you can just try to highlight this less than is greater than, so that you can just write down those information quickly. This part, a little bit of mental math, but drawing some diagram can help your confidence, and it also helps the speed up the process. Okay, all right, next one, 28. 28 is a similar question that we did as the question that 32. So try it again, see whether that works for you, all right? So again, this is a container, the container plus coin. So we call the coin and what's the other name? Other things is called, is a container or something? A can, coin plus can kind of thing, right? So first, 1/4, 65. If it's a half, 120. What we said, regardless, you're going to do difference. The difference is 120 minus 65. You got 55. What's that? This is half the coin. This is quarter of the coin. So the difference is quarter of the coin. So you got quarter of a coin is 55. All right, just remember that. What is the mass of the can and the coin together if it is a 3/4? So you already know that's going to be 55 times 3 plus the can. So where's the can? The can is 65 in this case, right? Minus 55, because you already know what is the quarter, so it's 10. So here is 10, you add them up, 165 plus 10, 175 gram, done. Do we have this? Yes. Question, yeah, question, the answer is B for 28. 29, we've done it, right? The answer is 8. $30. 30 is kind of a question that again prove my methodology works. Is never trust your mental math. Trust your pen. All right, using your pen, write it down the information. Do not trust your mental math. So first, the width of the rectangle 4. Write it down. The area 36. 9 times 4. Here you go. This is 9. So you know this is 4. All right. So you can figure out that is 5. And what is the area of the shaded? That's 5 times 5. Easy. 25. How long take you? 20 seconds. Okay. Next one. 31. I think we've done it. And the process is that how fast we can to achieve this. It's a matter of how fast. So to do this, how fast? Do not read this. When do you read this first, right? Do not read the middle section. Just read the title only, then move on to read the detail. Then the second time when you read, you only pick up the information matters. You're doing some little tick. Then ultimately it's a difference of time step. How do you calculate the difference of time step? I suggest you guys using a strategy that adding a whole number, a clock time in between. Just choose one sort of exactly the 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock or whatever. Choose the closest one as a benchmark. So you calculate either side and then add them up. That's much faster. Okay. Next one, 32. We done it. Is B. All right. Question 33. 33 itself is easy, but the question itself bring up a horizon of a list of all type of this question. This type of a question called the angle on the clock, right? This kind of question can be very difficult, or can be very difficult. Depends on the setting. So let's just break them down, right? First of all, you need to have a basic knowledge of the whole, a revolution or a circle is 360 degree, right? You have how many hours? 12 hours. The question is already tell you 30 degree is the setting at 1 o'clock. So they just use this information to tell you that is a 30 degree. Okay, done. Next, what will be the angle measured clockwise, right? The hour hand to the minutes hand at 1:30. So how this is going to turn into, right? 1:30. So 30 is pretty sure the long hand is pointing to the 6. How about 1:30? So you know the 1 is 12, right? It's 3 is here, so that's a 1 and a 2. 1:30 is actually between 1 o'clock and a 2 o'clock. So that's why the shorthand is facing halfway through the section between 1 and 2. So now you need to count how many units of the 30 degree you have. You have a 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 units plus half unit. Right? This is a half. So that's all together 4 times 30 plus 15 degree. That's giving you 135 degree. Do we have the answer? Yes. D. Question 33 is D. All right, so 34, we've done it. 35. Oh, we're almost done. 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Okay. So 35 is a type of question that testing a multiple points. All right, so I think basically this is a symmetry question. But like, how can we like settle this question as fast as possible? You got to do this, right? You quickly just imagine this is fold this way and then fold again. And there's a little detail. There's devil in the detail, right? So where's the devil, right? Where's the detail? This is a detail. Can you see that? Here is the open angle, right? That is where the middle section is this one. That is a first important information you're going to deal with. What that means? It means that the angle is pointing to the middle section. All right, so that means you can quickly figure out how many of them angle is pointing to the middle section. This one, yes, yes, no, no, no. You only have 2 left. So it becomes super easy, right? You only have 2 left. So then it's looking at between A and C. What's the difference? The only difference is that the side. At the side, right? Whether it's going to be like, look at that or that. So how to deal with this? You need to deal with by looking at the question again. You just look at the question. The question is showing some of the, there is one hidden line of symmetry. So where's the line of symmetry of this line? When you fold it, you didn't see it, right? But if you imagine there is a line here, this is the line of symmetry. So once you draw the line of symmetry and ask yourself, which one really satisfies the symmetry? Only A is correct, because you look at this shape. They are symmetry. similar. They are like they are symmetry with regard to this line, and compared to the other case, this one, if you fold to the flip to the other side, the triangles look like that, right? It's not the same as that. If you flip to this side, the triangle look like that. It's a tick. So that's why this answer is A. Okay, that's it. Precisely on. We have 4 minutes extra, but we can take as many questions as you wish. So I am, yeah, you can just unmute yourself to, if you have any question, you can ask. Who want to do the first? You can raise your hand first, so I can call your name. Raise hand in the Zoom. Do you guys know how to raise hand in the Zoom? So I saw Emma's unmute. Emma, do you want to ask? Cheeseburger. Hey, that's a fancy name. What's your question, Cheeseburger? I know it's it's made up name, but what do you want to ask?
So you said if anyone knows how to raise hands, so just raise hand. I didn't actually have any question.
You don't have any question? It's fine then. Anyone else? So I do just try to acknowledge the comment, like anyone send me. Yeah, lots of people say it's the easiest to test. It is. So what easiest means that all the type of question you already have some kind of training, right? Let me check. All the question has been gone through. So someone asked 23. Let me see. 23 is that something need more explanation, or let me check 23. Yeah. So anyone want to ask 23? Do you want to raise the question? Because I don't know how to, which part you don't know. Tell me.
Yeah, in a WeChat group, I saw the guy, some people asked to, can you explain the 23 again? Because they didn't really get it.
Oh, you don't get it?
Yeah.
All right, they don't, okay. So question 23 is a pattern that you are trying to locate the number 40, right? So just quickly looking at 1, 2, 3. So it's a group of 3, right? Happy with that? Group of 3. So you can imagine this is a group of 3. So I just draw this diagonal line representing a group of 3. All right. So just keep going. There's a dot, dot, dot. And so what happened? 13 of them. Why? Because if you have a 40 divided by 3, it's 13, right? And the remainder is 1. So which means you break them in down to 13 group of 3 box, 3 square, and with 1 extra. That extra is 40. So I just highlighted the 40 is actually here. So if 40 is here, that will share the same, I would think, horizontal measure. The horizontal is this one, right? It's the A, B, C, D, E. So the 40 is definitely, it's the horizontal coordinate is B. All right, so happy with that? It is B. Second things, we need to deal with vertical, right? Vertical coordinate. Vertical coordinate 40, it's not 40, right? The answer is there's no B40 anyway. But you got to quickly looking at the, I would say similar, right? Similarity. If you have a 7, the square 7, the vertical coordinate is 8. 4 is 5. Square 1 is looking at 2. So that's indicate any square, simply just +1 will be there for vertical coordinator. So that's end up with what we say B and 41. Here the location is 41. So the answer is B, 41. That is A. Hope that makes sense, right? It's slow enough. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else? Patrick or whoever that you can see that, do you have any other question? It's in the WeChat group, just let me know.
Yeah, so far it's okay. Yeah.
So good.
All good now, I think.
So yeah, I think some students just mentioned this is quite easy. Depends, right? So for example, Richard, you said it's easy. Have you measured the time, Richard? So you said it's easy. Of course it's easy. No one finds it hard. Just how long take you to finish. That matters. Personally, I did it. I just did it in time. I don't have any spare time. So just imagine how fast you are. This is the speed you need. All right. So if you haven't measured, like count time 40 minutes, then it's a different story, right? If you spend 2 hours on that, you get perfect, doesn't mean anything. In the reality, right? In the exam room, you need to finish them on time. Just imagine you need to also fill in the boxes, right? Fill in the answer sheets. It takes minimum, right? 2 seconds each. So it's still an extra time you required. So all we want as a highlight or the summary, right? The summary by reading this test, one thing is obvious, right? Compared to this test versus the sample test we have, it's harder. Right? It's harder in terms of time management. Secondly, it does prove that lots of methodology or lots of type of question is repeating. So which is good. You can predict that going to happen again in this year's test, 2022 test as well. All right, we saw a few students unmuted. Aiden, do you want to ask a question?
No,
yes?
I don't have any.
All right, so then you mute yourself. Thank you. Any other question? No. Let me check. No one, right? So if there's no more question, Patrick, probably shall we close it off?
Yes, apparently the math reasoning is too easy, and your delivery is too excellent. So everybody no questions.
Yeah, it's a bit of like
yeah.
All
right.
Next.
Tonight is a great one, and just remind every kids and remind your mom and dad, and don't forget next week Tuesday 6:30, yeah, for the thinking skill. So have a good weekend and take a break, and see you next week. All right.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. See you next time. Cheers.
Say bye to Mr. G. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye.